Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
guys, I'm Bullhorn Betty, and this is the Bullhorn Betty channel, where we're taking a deep dive into Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. We have been covering the case since the early part of March, prior to or the day of the interview of both mom and stepdad. What we learned was there were some questionable statements made. And then we started looking into the parents, which really ruffled the feathers of the mom, more importantly, the stepdad. He felt that if we just took all the drama out of this, there's nothing here to see except a teenage boy that just simply ran away from home. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, this mom and stepfather has hired some of the most vile people to assist them in locating their son. From past felons that are currently committing crimes to questionable people with questionable pasts, such as substance abuse, where one of their searchers is seen in the woods utilizing substances through a straw and a dollar bill up that person's nostrils, inhaling whatever it was that he was doing. Then you have another content creator that is filthy, which again is just representation of the people that they hire to assist them. And then lastly, one of the main supporters of the mom and stepdad has now 2 new civil actions against her, one for child custody and another one for stalking her ex-pregnant girlfriend. So, and then after that, an incident report came about where she or her other daughter put bruises on her youngest daughter's throat. Again, this just kind of embodies the type of people that are representing Sebastian's mom and stepfather. While I never criticize anybody's past, because let's face it, we all have one. It's the difference between somebody that has overcome that and has redeemed themselves versus somebody that has continuously done this throughout the pattern of their story and is continuing to do it. No redemption, no remorse, just continuing the same bad behavior over and over again, expecting different results. Sebastian Waindrake Rogers deserves better than this. He deserves the right type of people searching for him and looking for him. There has been a lot of statements made from the mom and the stepfather, predominantly the stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. And I've got to say, the inconsistency, the anger, the vitriol, and the threats and intimidation that he has posed to just about anybody and everybody searching for his son, his stepson, has me very, very, very concerned, including my own arrest. For what? For doing my job and speaking out against him, as well as law enforcement in the area. This makes you take a back seat because you see parents that are spending more time trying to shut my mouth than they are searching for their own missing child that disappeared from their own home. Why? That is the question we should be all asking ourselves, is why. We're going to be going over this case a little more in depth. I hope you stay tuned. We have a lot to discuss and a new case to bring up. I thank you all for being here. I hope you take the time before we start to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. If you would like to help me with my legal expenses, or just to support the efforts that we're doing, we have a variety of ways that you can contribute. From the GoFundMe to help me fight specifically with my legal expenses. We have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We have an Amazon wish list if you just want to give me a thank you item or buy something special for the Lila. Again, this is truly a family, and we've truly come together for the sake of Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. And we're going to continue to fight for him. And we're going to continue to expose the mom and stepdad's weird behaviors and inconsistent statements. and we're going to expose those around them that are doing nefarious things to prevent the search or Sebastian being found. I hope you guys support all the creators that have come together to say no to this nonsense and to keep Sebastian first and foremost. God bless each and every one of you watching this, and have a great day. What we do know as fact, however, is that Seth has been searching for his son ever since his son disappeared. Seth has publicly taken a polygraph. He has publicly produced his work records. This man has done everything he could possibly do, including working with the FBI, working with me to advocate for his son, calling on the national media, getting Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we're here with what from the mom and stepfather? Nothing for almost 10 months. Shoddy searches at best, working with an unscrupulous PI, felons, and including one searcher utilizing substances, illicit substances, while searching for their son.
Well, good morning. I'm being lazy, and it's rainy here, so she's kind of mopey. She doesn't get to go out. She doesn't get to play. I did sneak her over to see Emily in between the spouts of rain. So we're just kind of humbuggy to this Friday, and she's just laying in my lap, which typically she lays next to me, but not in my lap. And so she's in my lap right now because she doesn't she doesn't mind the rain too much, but I think she feels a little more comfortable in my lap on rainy days. I don't know why, but that's the way we roll. I hope everybody's doing well this Friday. TGIF. We got some craziness going on, and then we're going to jump into Sebastian Rogers. I mean, we wouldn't want people to think we forgot about this young boy that's still missing, and parents are just get to, I don't know, go hide and be a basement dweller, and everything's just going to be able to go away. Happy birthday, Seth. Is this Seth's birthday today? Is Seth trying to hide? He's a year older from Bullhorn Betty. Is that what we're hearing? Is it his birthday? Do I have to sing happy birthday to him? We'll wait for him to bless us with his beautiful presence. I know he'll be up here for at least a few moments. He trying to sneak around. How do we find out whose birthday? It was his birthday. We'll wait until we see him. My back is so messed up. Are you kidding me? Mine is too. Don't worry, we have a lot of biotic women in here. There's even Sonia. Sonia has blessed us with her presence this morning. Everybody give Sonia a round of applause. She's bionic as bionic can be right now. She's still probably, I don't know. I keep wondering who's. It has to be the real me too. She's using Sonia's hand. She's like, oh, we got to make sure people think she's alive. So she's over there. BMW, it's his birthday. Oh. All right. Well, since he's not here, we'll see. Somebody will have to clip it and send it to him. So let's sing him happy birthday. Okay, it's Seth's birthday. I'm sure it's not happy. It won't be happy until he gets his son, right? So, but it's still his birthday, and we are his family. We uplift him in times of need, even a year older. I know it's a catastrophic event to be a year older. I know this because I'm about to be a year older in just a couple months. So I know how catastrophic the event is, but we want to make it as nice and as pleasant as possible. Plus, he's dealing with a lot with his son, and I'm sure he probably just wants to put a cover over his head and just say F it. But anyways, this is for you, big guy. Ready? 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday, Seth Rogers. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Happy birthday, Seth. Happy birthday. Don't look at me like I'm crazy, okay? It's somebody's birthday. I know you don't get to hear me sing. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You're just not usually in my lap. It's okay. Quit looking at me like I'm crazy. My dog's looking at me like I'm crazy. You should see the expression on her face. We need a doggy cam. We need a doggy cam for the Bullhorn Betty channel. We need a doggy cam. She is looking at me like, lady, shut the you know what up. Sound is very low. Okay. Sound is very low. Is everybody hearing me okay? Hey, Smiley, it's nice to see you. My dog's looking at me like, what the? It's just Betty. It's just Betty. It's just Betty. It's going in and out. Okay, it might be, you know what? It might be it's the webcam. I bet you it's picking up the webcam. Yes, it is. Let me fix this. Sons of a, you know what, biscuit. Blah, blah, blah. Let's make sure I got my speakers. Can you guys hear me better now? Can you guys hear me okay? Well, wait. I know if they say muted, you're muted. Mute. I know I'm muted. That's the difference between the webcam microphone and the actual computer microphone. Much better. Much better. Okay. Well, I probably broke off, so Seth didn't even get the full of the birthday song. Should we do it again? I don't want to do it again. I don't know if I can take Delilah's face again. She's stretching. Yeah, I'm not on the equipment this morning. Look how blue my eyes look. Good gracious. Did they really look that blue? I'll be darned. They look awfully blue today. That's interesting. I didn't realize how blue they were today. And they're pretty darn blue. So it's nice to see everybody up in the house. We've already got to see a few people. We got Pebbles up in the house. We got Smiley's World. We got Mama Rissa, Heather, me and you, the real me too. I am L, Wander Seeker. Smiley's up in here, Southern, blessing us with her presence. Oma, Texas Life Julie, I heard was the recipient of one of our gifted memberships this morning. Welcome to this crazy fam. We are a little crazy over here. And we have a lot of technical issues because we're on StreamYard. We don't like StreamYard. And I am absolutely convinced it's StreamYard because one of the reasons why I decided to come on this computer is because of the fact that the other one was showing lagging. And I thought maybe my Apple's just got a lot of crap on it because what I've been using for years. And that it's just starting to slow down in its old age. You know, it's a 2021 computer. I mean, that's ancient in today's times, right? So I just thought it had something to do with maybe it not being able to run like it used to. So I come in here, I get on the new computer. The new computer's always worked fine with me because I don't have all the crap hooked up to it. I don't have the sound system hooked up to it. I don't have the microphones hooked up to it. I don't have the second screen hooked up to it, which is all the stuff that I equate to the lagging of the system, right? Well, then I'm here today and it's got 2 bars on it showing my bandwidth. And I've been thinking it's this, and I've been holding stuff back and doing this because I've been thinking it had to do with the other computer. Well, it's not. It's the service. It's irritating. People pay a lot of money for StreamYard. I think their base price is like $40 or $50 a month.
That's the base price. And it goes up to, I think, like $100 a month. A month. That's a lot of money to have to be littered with nothing but technical issues. It's ridiculous. I say hell to the nah. Just saying. Dreaming of sandy blue skies and sandy beaches. Can someone drop a link to the Amazon? You might want to just wait a day. I haven't been on that Amazon. Even that video from this morning was made back in January. I haven't been on that list in a really, really long time. So if you could wait about 24 hours, I'll freshen it up and make sure that stuff that's already been received is off there. I don't want to double dip or anything like that. BMW Coupe, it's nice to see you, Love Bug. I hope you're doing well. Karen's up in the house, says she's number 31. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you can. Mama is up in the house. Leslie Be Real. Hey. Maritza, it's nice to see you. Leslie, keep it. I think I just said hi to you. I'm not sure if I did. So sometimes I just pull right through these and I can't remember who I say hi to from one to the next, to be honest with you. Joni, it's nice to see you. Dawn, Southern, Smiley, Wander Seeker. Who else do we have? We have me and you, Carla, Frank, Brenda. It's nice to see you. Kendra. VA. Hey. Eeyore Blues is up in the house. Astrology for the Mystics. If you guys haven't hit up her channel, go over and check her out. Jacqueline, it's nice to see you. Cheryl. If I missed you, Groovy Gal. Phil, I see you. Susan. If I miss you coming in, TD Dean, it's nice to see you. Unicorn. Hey. It's a blanket at prayer warriors option. A prayer warriors. Oh, I got it. I gotcha. Opinion. I Spy, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Oh, there's Seth. Okay. All right. Well, now that he's officially here and my microphone's not cracking all to hey. Mr. Seth is here. So everybody get your pipes warmed up. It's his birthday. It's his birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Right? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday, dear Seth Rogers. Happy birthday to you. I figure if she's going to look at me, I might as well make her look at me. Oh, we just want to make you feel special, big guy. I wish you the best. I hope at least I made you chuckle a little bit. I figured since you're here, I might as well break your ear just a little bit. A nice gift from Bullhorn Betty to you, Seth. He's going to say, what was that loud? I remember that loud lady's name. It was Bullhorn. How can we forget about the Bullhorn? So anyways, guys, we got a couple of craziness going on here before we jump into the topic of conversation, right? We got a topic. Second generation construction. They've come up a lot in the Sebastian Rogers case. We don't really know a whole lot about them. So why don't we quit speculating and learn a little something? I have to say my research was a little enlightening, to say the least. But before we get into it, I think it's time to really kind of have a jaw open for some of the stuff that we're about to hear about. Now, this is going to take us over to the true crime news. Interesting how it happens. But this right here is pretty interesting. I thought lead was outdated. Okay, call me crazy. I mean, I know bell bottoms keep making their grand appearance throughout our lives, right? My mom wore bell bottoms before her. I'm sure her parents wore bell bottoms. When I was in a phase, we wore bell bottoms. They just keep circulating back. They become popular again. And I'm just wondering, is lead becoming popular again? Because I'd have to think, with all the stuff that's readily available to us, from mothballs to cyanide to radiator fluid and everything like that. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking that lead's a little weird. I'm not laughing at it, but just think of me, okay? I'm a true crime content creator. I put my little feelers out just to see what else is going on out there while we're covering cases, right? And to come across that a Alabama chiropractor is convicted of trying to fatally poison his wife with lead, I'm kind of like, what? Of all things? Lead. How was he going to try to explain this exposure to lead? I mean, he's a chiropractor. They have to have some type of education in medicine. So did he shoot? There we go. Seth solved it. He said, "Did he shoot her?" That's the only way of lead poisoning I know of. I know, right? I'm thinking the same thing, but no, he didn't. So this is in Morgan County, Alabama, and the jury found Brian Mann guilty on June 12th of attempted murder. He is scheduled for sentencing August 27th. So she's not deceased, but she is. Can somebody does? We got some people up in here with some medical stuff, right? Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but every time I laugh, I cry. It just is what it is. So we might as well just dot, right? You don't want to rub, just want pat. Am I doing it right? So what was I coming over here to talk to you guys about? So he's where was I? The whole lead poisoning thing, that is funny though, with the whole bullet, but that's not it. According to prosecutors, on January 22nd, Brian Mann wife Hannah Mann was admitted to the hospital for abdominal pain. Staff later determined she had consumed large amounts of lead over an extended period of time. Doctors at the hospital testified and said she has. Oh, I knew what I was going to ask you is whether lead comes out of your body, but it says and said the safe levels of lead in the body is near 10. But the victim came in and they were in the 80s. The defendant's wife remained hospitalized for months. But she survived the incidents. Prosecutors say she disclosed that her husband had provided her with daily supplements. Investigators searched the home and didn't find any lead. Their children also tested negative for lead. Man reportedly went to Decatur Morgan Hospital a few hours later and said he had given himself an x-ray at the chiropractic clinic and noticed something in his stomach. Upon x-ray, it was determined that the lead in his system had been ingested only hours before. So he knew what he was doing. Man had taken out a life insurance policy on his wife worth $1 million. I don't know. I get a little nervous. I've got to be honest with you. If I would be nervous just a little bit with somebody taking out $1 million life insurance policy on me. The crazy thing is that people don't need your permission to take out a life insurance policy on you if they are related to you. It's quite interesting. I used to work in the field here in Florida, and it's not uncommon. I mean, even businesses, if you're a key employee, the chances in you're of a large business, they would take out life insurance on you being a key employee, because if something happens to you, they've got to be able to either bring somebody in very quickly, They all need money to survive when you're gone. So there's also in partnerships, there's life insurance for buyout agreements. So basically what it is the company has a life insurance on all the people that are part of this venture. And if, say, one person dies, the company is reimbursed, and they basically buy you out. They take that and hand that to your family, and according to this agreement, you cut all ties to that business, and then it becomes like when it was 4 owners, now it's 3 owners, and so on. Related marriage or position of importance. There it is. Yep. Related, married, or position of importance. There you go. And it's pretty interesting because, theoretically, somebody could take out a life insurance policy on somebody and then not even know that they have a life insurance policy out on them. Many people do know, but a lot of people don't, which creates this environment. So it sounds like he was trying to keep the kids and move on with his life. Now, let me put this back up on the screen real quick. I mean, this kid, I'm calling him a kid, but he's an adult that tried to unalive another woman. This is what I'm talking about this day and age with our young kids. They're so warped. They have no value for human life anymore. And this is happening so much, in my opinion, a lot more than it once did. Or it's just, and of course, the flip side is they're going to say, well, it's because of, social media, things get out a little further and a little farther, or whatever the case may be. But this guy is young, probably doesn't even have a freaking speeding ticket, and he goes from being a smart person that went to college to become somebody to an attempted murderer without even jumping over every other possible crime imaginable before he gets to the big one. And we see this a lot. And these people don't have any coping skills, rejection skills. A lot of these people have been failed because, let's face it, I was taught all of that stuff in school. I was taught just about everything in school. I was taught woodworking in school, how to type, how to use a computer. I was taught the law in school. I was taught how to drive in school. I remember when I tried to make excuses of why something wasn't here or there, or if I could have some amenities, I remember my teachers keep telling me, you think it's going to be this lucky when you're out there in the real world? You think you can call in sick in the real world? They let us know. You got it lucky here. Wait until you get out there. All bets are off. They don't do that with our children anymore. They try to coddle them. And now they're out in the real world where there's no more coddling, and they don't quite get it, and they can't handle it. And it's got to stop. But I feel like this is a whole generation, quite honestly. This is going across the pond. We don't really cover any cases overseas. This is in the Philippines, and I thought this was quite interesting. So authorities are searching for 34 men that have gone missing, that they cheated while betting on cockfights in I can't pronounce this, but it's in the Philippines. The search is pointing toward a lake called Tail Lake or Tal Lake. It's a volcanic lake where it is believed that the men's body might have been disposed of. So this was kind of like a mafia style. Think of it kind of like mafia style, right? They were in the betting on this cockfight, which is their money and what have you. It's like gambling. Again, you're not going to want to cheat when you got a Don sitting next to you. Just saying. I mean, you can do whatever you choose to do, but I just want to remind you about the parachute. It suggests that before you hit the ground, you pull the string. You don't have to, but you'll go splat, right? So think of this thing like the Philippines. So they were fighting with or betting on these cockfights, and when these guys would cheat, they would just whack them. Okay, it's like the '90s mafia. Okay. And that's going on in the Philippines, and they're searching for these 34 bodies, which I believe they've uncovered one or two bodies, or know of one or two bodies. They have one or two bodies in their collection and their possession, but according to what we're hearing, there are 34 bodies in this lake that they need to try to find and pull out. So I just thought that was interesting. It's right up our alley when it comes to true crime, and like, this is kind of the stuff that I feel true crime used to be. It used to be the organized crime. It used to, organized crime of any kind, whether it was in the drug trade or gambling or waste management. But it was always something. And now we've got this stuff going on. I guess it would be probably more prevalent in other countries that don't have the laws that we have here in America. My porch light is still, oh, Texas moonlight. Yeah, we have a lot of them. That reminds me, I never got that video done. I need to go back through. I need to clean up my email. I got so much crap that I need to do. I swear, I just need to change my name to Anita, because I need everything. I needed everything. So I'm not going to pull this one up for you. I just wanted to let you guys know one of the things here in the state of Florida in Monroe County, which kind of just creeps me out, especially, when I travel, we travel and we're on the road for quite a bit when we're on the road. When Olivia and I work a case, her and I are, depending on, like, for Gabby Petito, believe it or not, we were on the road for Gabby Petito almost a year. We went all over. We followed their steps all the way back to Spread Creek, Mary Piglets. We went to every place that was known to the case, out there in, like, Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We stayed at hostels. We did anything to make the budget work. It was pretty awesome. I mean, the work itself, just seeing it, it was exciting. It was new. It was sad. It was emotional. It just had a lot of highs and lows throughout it. It was the first time I had seen snow in forever. And when I go, it's hard because it just seeing my face, when I watch the video, it's hard not to laugh or smile. But when I'm on the road, I'm on the road, and I have to stay in hotels a lot of the time. Well, here in Florida, apparently a lot of guests were staying in a room with an unexpected guest. That is correct. So, Nadine Marie Tillman, she was 43. She was fatally beaten inside her hotel room, and it was at the Amore Dive Resort, and that was in Key Largo, Florida, which is kind of like it was a happening place when I was young. I haven't been there in a really long time. I could not tell you how happening it is right now, but Key Largo is like one of the keys as you're going to Key West, if you haven't figured it out. And so what had happened is one of the cleaners found this lady's body in one of the closets. But she didn't find it right away. Apparently they've cleaned the room, they've rented it out several times, and then poof, the body just magically appears. Or somebody actually really did decide to go in the room and actually clean it. And when they did, they got that's the surprise of their lifetime. Can you imagine renting a room in a resort destination, um, uh, to find out that you've been living with a corpse in your closet? That's what happened here in the state of Florida. So you can imagine why I was like, yeah, I'm not going to bring it all up to you, but I only wanted to spend a few moments. But this one's going to be the most interesting, in my opinion. So I don't know if you guys have been monitoring the Brian Coberger case or not. I have been monitoring it, but we haven't really talked about it too much. We've kind of gotten away from the case a little bit. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're probably not going to be there personally for trial, and it's a little upsetting, but I really wanted to be there. We invested so much time and money into this case. I really did want to be there. But there's been some revelations that have come out in this case. So, if you guys don't know, I'm just going to give you the Reader's Digest version. We're going to get through this really quickly and then we'll get over to second generation. But um on November 22nd, 2022, there was an issue. So somebody, excuse me, February 22nd. It was February 13th. It's 13th or 17th. Why can I not remember these dates? Why when I get up here, my brain literally falls to the floor like, whatever. It was November 13th, I'm pretty sure. November 13th. 2023, because I believe we were planning our trip by the 17th. I think we were out there on the grounds by the 19th or something like that. So, anyways, they a whole 4 students, I guess 3 students, and one person that was just visiting were, stabbed to death. And many people thought it was this person or that person. Long story short is there was a lot of speculation around who could have done this. Well, in the end of December, we learned of Brian Coberger. They believe he was responsible. And we have been trying to piece together everything related to this case ever since. I will tell you, the K-bar knife is still missing. They've never recovered or located the K-bar knife, and I think I know where it may be. I think it's in the landfill. There's a reasons why I believe it's in the landfill. There's a reasons that, he went to a convenient or a grocery store. I think it was Albertsons, but they never notated him purchasing anything. During his trip to this grocery store, from everything I've learned, he went to the bathroom. By the time they acquired that information, it had been months later. And I think he either threw the knife in the garbage can there at the grocery store, or he went to the dumpster outside of the grocery store, which all grocery stores have them, and pitched it there. So I think that's the reason why that has never been recovered, is with the K-bar knife. But that's neither here nor there. We learned that there was a food delivery to Xana Kernodle, and that food delivery, it's around 4 a.m., 4:12 in the morning, literally moments, and I mean moments. Oh, hey, Robin, it's nice to see you, before all 4 of them would be deceased. Well, this lady, the delivery gal, okay, we didn't know who she was. They kept her identity out of the public. We kind of learned who it was. We've kept her identity out of the public eye. Other people have disclosed who she is. Apparently, she got picked up on a DUI or something related to driving, and she most likely, while she was under the influence and really worried about, oh my gosh, I'm going to jail, maybe, trying to schmooze a little bit, everybody does it when they're in trouble and they think they're going to go to jail. They will work it. Okay. They're going to try to get themselves out of going to jail. Some days when I was just tired of arguing or whatever, I'm just like, just fucking take me. Again, you guys know my history. We've talked about it. It's been public all over social media for a long time, just let's go. That's about it. Some of them are just like that, and long story short, you some days you try to argue, some days you don't. Okay, well, she must be, this must be her first rodeo or something like that. Maybe not. I don't know her history. And so she starts telling, this law enforcement officer, she's a witness in the Brian Coberger case. And she goes on to utter this. Now, mind you, this isn't another case. This is now something that's not going to be able to be sealed by the courts. And so now it is all public that apparently this delivery food lady the way I'm understanding it, when she went to drop off the food, parked by Brian Coberger, saw him. Now, I hope she's not lying about this to try to get herself out of trouble with the cops, that the defense can say, wait a minute, you said you didn't see him that night. Well, I didn't. Well, in this statement you told the police, you did see him. Which is it? Did you see him or did you not see him? Which statement should we believe? You see how this is going? So I'm praying to God she actually saw him and this was a true slip, that she's going to be able to be on the state stand and point to Brian Coberger and say, that's the man I parked next to. Where did you park next to him? Outside of the house at 1122 King Road. Bombshell. If she was going to get up on the stand, but she kind of let the cat out of the bag, maybe. But again, I don't really trust people that are under the influence of substances or alcohol. And some of the statements that they make, sometimes they make very truthful statements, truthful statements that had they not been drunk, they would not have made, because they were secret statements that they were not supposed to share. So you get the both sides of it, and people that are drinking probably shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car. There's a lot of laws in place, and trust me, despite how I feel about it, and I think it is unconstitutional, I really do, because I don't see how a misdemeanor should cost people so much money, especially when it is designed that the majority of the people that have these types of problems where they're going to get DUIs typically have other problems associated with it and don't have the money. So you're forcing them to lose their homes, their cars, knowing that addiction is a medical issue. It just seems so. It doesn't seem that it's helping anybody. You know who it makes feel good? It makes those angry moms, and trust me, they have every right to be angry. They're moms that lost their children because of somebody else's negligence. I get it. But at the end of the day, they're the only ones feeling better. Has it curbed the problem? There's not one study that proves to me that any of this has curbed the problem. It's a feel-good item, and I'm not a feel-good type of law passer, okay? I am not an emotional when it comes to the law. Do I have emotions about certain topics? You darn right I do. But when it comes to advocating for stuff, whether I want something to be, I have core values, and some core values just will not even allow me to advocate for some things that I would personally want, you know? So I don't know. I think this could or could not be a major thing. Do I trust somebody that's under the influence of alcohol? I'm not sure. Does she have a history of getting drunk and uttering things she shouldn't be saying that she knows is true? Then I would say yes. If she's had the situation, she wasn't drunk, well, then why was she in there for a DUI? Because I got it right here. Here's her in the hot seat for a DUI. She wasn't drunk. Let's not mention other creators, please. It causes confusion and hate. Hi, my friend. You're doing a great job on these cases. Keep up the great work. Thank you. She blew a 0. Oh. I think she was on pain meds. There you go. Yeah. There's a few. I that's what I think they need to start doing. They got to get away from the breathalyzer, because these young kids, they're on a lot of stuff, and alcohol typically isn't one of the things that they're on because it's too difficult to get. So they're going for the street stuff, and we know the street stuff is now mixed with all the other crap, and it's becoming dangerous. I mean, the worst thing my parents had to worry about when I was going to school, in all fairness, is smoking pot and getting drunk. Okay, the parents this day and age have so much more to worry about. I mean, people are they literally have I don't know how to say this. They basically have a pill mill in their freaking basement. How can kids and other people get this type of equipment? I mean, these are major operations going on. It's scary. I would be so scared for children because, we had our gateway drug, it was alcohol or marijuana. That's what they always taught us, this gateway, this gateway that we were always learning about in school. And they this generation blew the gate off. I'm just going to say it. I mean, you don't have gateway drugs you have to worry about. You got full-fledged addictions that you have to worry about now. Your child goes to school and comes back addicted. I mean, it's insane. Some of these areas, I would it terrifies me. It terrifies me for you parents. How dangerous this stuff has gotten, and this is the flip side that people don't take into consideration when we allow this stuff just to flood in. People don't see the families that are suffering or wondering, how are these people keep getting it? How do they keep getting it? How can't they do nothing? We've had floodgates open, all this stuff. We have enough supply here in America right now because of what has happened over the last 8 years alone, that it's going to take a lot of work to get the amount of stuff in this country out of this country. It is scary. And as a matter of fact, I was just reading about an officer doing a traffic stop, and a woman had a little something in her purse, and he went to open it, and it kind of did a poof. And the next thing they said is he's on the ground having a seizure. An officer, just doing his job. Just doing his job. To me, if an officer is pulling you over on a traffic stop and comes into contact with a substance that could make them lose their life, that should be attempted murder. Not one of their charges in that whole situation, I just read it this morning, not one of those charges were attempted murder. And I'm sorry, but I don't feel like, having to look at a wife and her children having to bury their first, their law enforcement father and husband because he's doing his job, and people have these dangerous substances that literally a little poof can kill you. It's as if they just handed a toddler a loaded gun. That should be attempted murder. No? I think it is. Officer almost lost his life. All right, so that's my complaint, my gripe, my bitch. Okay, so now that we are through the first segment of the show, let's move on to why you guys are all here. Hi guys, I'm Bullhorn Betty. I cover true crime. We're covering the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Many of you guys know Sebastian's case. Sebastian was 15 years old when he disappeared from his home. He was reported missing on February 26th by he was reported missing on February 26th, and the question being is, I don't know how to quite do this anymore because I call bull snizzit on all of it, right? We believe that he disappeared on the 25th. The last third-party sighting of Sebastian Rogers was at the Texas Roadhouse, and then he left there and went home with his mother, which allegedly went into a locked house, secured, no possibility of forced entry or an intrusion of any kind or somebody sneaking in and out of the house, allegedly. But however, Sebastian, which never left his home ever, barely, from everything that we've learned from the neighbors knew a kid may live there, but was unsure. He had no toys outside. He had no bicycles outside. He had no things that are normal and customary to a home with a child in it. And so many people didn't even realize that that home had a child in it. So that you're talking about a boy that very rarely came outside, except for the immediate neighbors. Nobody really could tell that a child from the face of that house lived there. So somehow this child that doesn't leave the house and doesn't really do anything, and when his mother goes out, she may take him with him. She went to Costco's that weekend. She went to BJ's, Strikes and Spares, Texas Roadhouse, and we will get into all of that. But he went into the house allegedly, and by 6 the next morning, he's gone. We learned that his mother first call made was not to a neighbor, not to a teacher, not to the school, not to anybody close by that could possibly help her locate her son. It was actually to the stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, which just happened to be 3.5 hours away. So many people are very curious about this and wondering why she would call him as the first call. Well, it gets a little bizarre from there because in their interviews, their earlier interviews, they proclaimed that they called law enforcement immediately because that's what parents do. We learned that a phone call didn't come into 911. As a matter of fact, the phone call came into the non emergency dispatch line of Sumner County, which many people say is not even manned at that time of morning, but somehow got through. Now, I haven't questioned whether that phone is manned. I don't know one way or another. I'm just letting you know what the statements of the public were at the time. We learned that Katie Proudfoot may have been on speaker or on the three-way call with this call to the non-emergency dispatch line, which was called by Chris Proudfoot. He tried to say that Katie was on a three-way call. The weird thing is that we finally did uncover, it took almost a year to start uncovering videos and photos of that day, that morning. And Mob Crew was able to get his hands on some really solid information. Some Ring doorbell or Blink doorbell camera footage of Katie being in her neighborhood 30 seconds and one that was only 8 seconds before that non-emergency dispatch line call came in by Chris. She was in her community. She was not at the school as they've proclaimed many times. We now have photo evidence to prove where Katie was. Seconds. Let me repeat that. Seconds before that call came in. And she was in her neighborhood. It didn't appear she had a phone in her hand, but this day and age, we know that doesn't mean anything. But the weird thing is she also reported to the public that she was hollering for her son. And what was observed in both of those clips, screen grabs, if you will, from those door cameras, was windows rolled up. She was not hollering out the vehicle. She was not calling Sebastian's name throughout the community. She was driving through almost casually, which is odd. And then when she is up at the school, she looks like a freaking NASCAR driver. But I've always felt like that trip was always for something. Because we learned early on that it's possible Cathy Bowersox, I'm almost confident Cathy Bowersox was up at Worsham's before this child was reported even missing. And the reason why I believe that is because too many people, while I've been in that community, have come up to me and said that they saw her. I've listened to them talk to me personally and tell me they saw her that morning. That's the reason why I believe she was up there. Because I heard these people. I looked at their eyeball to eyeball, when they told me their story. And I find it awfully funny that these people, which do not hang out, some of them do have ties to one another, but for the most part, the many of them, if they know each other, they may know of each other, but they don't know each other. So how are all these different people in that community that don't have ties directly to one another, describing almost the same exact event? That is the problem I'm having. Now, if I could see that it was a group of people that were BFFs, where I can see that, they're all friends, their husbands are friends, their kids are friends, I could see something like that. But these people, when I looked into them, they, maybe one or two had some type of connection, but you could see that they weren't really, really tight. They may like some of the things periodically, but you didn't have that close. You guys know how social media work. Your BFFs all up in your stuff, right? Your BFFs all up in your stuff, liking it, commenting it, joking around about it, doing this, doing that, making posts about you, blah, 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 blah. You can kind of see who's really thick and who's just associated through social media. Can you guys agree with that? Partially agree. We'll do one, you guys agree with that. Two, you kind of agree with that. And three, no, I'm way off base. I think you can kind of judge who are real friends of. For example, if you have a Facebook page of 100 people, clearly you're not BFFs with all 100 people. Based on your behavior on social media, you can gauge what type of friend they are from a BFF, real close friend, family, or colleague or associate. I think you can. So, anyways, they didn't look like that they were all, tightly knitted. The people that came forward, they didn't appear to have this tight knit about them, where they just got into the secret corner and said, "Hey, this is what we need to do." You know. So that's the problem I have, and they weren't verbatim, but they could have almost been. And they described the same thing: Cathy Bowersox sitting in her car on the side of Warsham's, appearing to just be waiting. That's odd. And they all say that it was between 5:30, all the times it varied between 5:30 in the morning and 5:40 something in the morning. Before Sebastian was reported missing. Why would that mother, that step grandmother, be sitting in a car so close to her son's house when she lives 25 minutes away from his house at 5 something in the morning or 6 something in the morning? She has no kids. I don't know realtors that are outside of their house at 6 o'clock in the morning. And trust me, I used to do real estate work for many realtors of my career. I pull in 8, they pull in at 9, no matter who I work for. So who's going to be up at 6 o'clock? You can't even conduct business at 6 o'clock in the morning in real estate. There's no attorney's offices open. There's no inspector's offices open. There's no home inspector's offices open. There's no permitting offices are open. There's nobody. Now, she could have said she was out. This was the only time she could get a contract signed. But she never said that. That would be the only way I would think that somebody would be up. Somebody has to go to work. They need the contract signed so they can get it in. But that doesn't even make sense with today's technology, because we have e-signing services in all of our real estate. We don't even need to see you. Do you know how many properties have been sold with sight unseen? We send them a virtual tour. We take them for a walk with our phones throughout the house, up the stairs, through this corner, that corner, and we send them a deal right from that house that they've never even walked into and close a deal. That's the society we're in today. Don't abduct me, cruel. VA. That's the society we're in today. So there's nothing that she has any business being on that side of the of Sumner County at that time of morning. She's got no excuse to be there. None. Now, nobody needs an excuse to be anywhere. I get that. But don't you think it's awfully funny that this lady is 25 minutes away from her home before 6 a.m. and it happens to be on the same day that her step's grandson disappears or is reported missing, and she's there literally a half an hour before he's reported missing, and it just happens to be on the heels of seeing somebody just the early morning hours when it was pitch black running through the freaking side yard with flashlights. Well, I just say there's a whole lot of weirdness going all over, and we just keep hearing people in Sebastian's family being in weird places at weird times, and it's just really, really starting to wear on me just a little bit. And so now we've never even jumped into second generation. Who in the world is second generation? We're hearing a lot about it. we've been hearing a lot about second generation and their possibilities and their connections and their political ties. So I figured, yeah, you know what? Really don't like the politics in the county, so me picking on this scab, it'd make my day, right? And then looking into second generation, what could I possibly learn? Actually, I was enlightened. I was enlightened because second generation is actually owned by Cathy's nephew, uh, Danny Guy, and his wife, Nikki. What I'm learning about is it sounds like Nikki's the one with the builder's license, which that's a conversation. I got to look up his to see if he's got a builder's license or if he's just a construction worker and working under his wife. They are both owners in the company, but you only need one builder to run a building company, right? You only need one licensed contractor. You don't need two. So he might have just had his wife do the book work, to maintain the license and stuff like that, and he'd do the labor. Perfectly fine, perfectly legal. But I just thought that was awfully funny. But here's the kicker. I'm trying to find the tie of the pressure. How in the world did these people have enough grit and grip on the decision makers of their county that they can have a YouTuber unjustly arrested and not be ever arrested for any of the harassment they've done to multiple people, including myself. So, I always, when I start seeing stuff like this, I naturally think we already believe this place is corrupt. Okay. And it's always followed the money. Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? And so here it's pretty interesting because there is no money trail with this family. None. There's no campaign contributions I can find for Maddie, Terry, the Proudfoots, or the guys, or second generation. So where are they getting all their power if they're not paying for it? And then I started thinking about it. Because the one thing I hate about like-kind contributions is, only good, upstanding people report those, right? Like kind is a little dicey. And basically what it means is, say somebody doesn't want to give you money for your campaign, but they have a printing excuse me. They have a printing company because they buy supplies, in bulk. Their printing costs are cheap. And for a layperson, $1,000 may cost that printing company $100 out of pocket, overhead, supplies, print, labor, something like that. It may cost them, around $100, $150. I mean, if you want to start doing wear and tear on machines and stuff, you might have to start calculating a little bit more into the cost per use. But just for generally speaking, and so instead of somebody, say, giving you $1,000, they give you $1,000 worth of maybe mailers for the mail, right? So that's in-kind contributions. It's something to that effect. And so I'm thinking, okay, maybe in kind, those still have to be reported. Nothing. So I'm thinking, how can this family have so much pull in this county, not be paying for it at least legitimate on the books, like where they can hide it by doing campaign contributions, events, stuff like that for the politicians, rubbing elbows and whatnot. It's not, like I said, I'm very ingrained in politics. And so I started thinking, he builds, and he's considered a luxury builder. A luxury builder. Well, I know politicians, and if they're a politician and not living in luxury, while I don't consider them a real politician, I kind of consider them, a true blue patriot. Just saying. It's funny how we go from being comfortable in a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom ranch style home, but somehow becoming a politician, all of a sudden we want to live in the mega mansion, right? So a luxury builder, yeah, but he's listed as luxury. He's listed, he's a custom home builder, but you have different tiers of custom home builders. This is something I'm very fluent in. My father was a master electrician and, worked for a lot of those builders. So you have different tiers of builders. Many people that live in the luxury market know that. You're not going to go to your general house contractor for a luxury home. So you have different appetites. Okay, you use different architects. They may have some base models or spec model homes that they've already got. They know exactly every screw, bolt, truss, measurement, exactly what they need, and they have those costs pretty much locked down, exactly what it's going to cost them to build the house, and exactly what they want to, return on investment, ROI. And so that basically is the purchase price of that property. So you're dealing with something just a little bit different here. You're not going to go to build a custom home when you have a spec home builder. So they do have a different type of market. Do they do spec homes? They do. And do they do, but they're more of, in my opinion, they're more of the developer builder. Do they do one-off homes? I've seen them. I went and looked at some of their properties, over the times that I've been back and forth to Tennessee, because their signs are everywhere. You could just be, searching an area and see a sign that says, built by, second generation homes. And some of these were really nice. And when I say luxury, I'm talking about on a nice piece of property, huge home with almost a structure equal to their home for custom vehicles, custom cars, a garage. Because I went by to look at some of the properties to see what level of construction they are. Because let's face it, many of us want to know where Sebastian is. Many of us have, we've heard Chris mention footers and, pouring concrete. So I wanted to see what stage of construction. I do not trust their family. Do I think, Nikki or Danny Guy have anything to do with it? In my gut, I don't believe they do, but because of this family, I don't know. This family's evil and they do some stupid shit. And you know what? You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. And I think they've outdid themselves with Sebastian Rogers. I'm sorry. I think they did. And I can't wait until that stupid prize smacks him upside the head. And while we're sitting here trying to get avocation for Sebastian Rogers, they're playing games. They're hiring people to run interference. By the way, everybody on their team's basically fired, or it's either one or the other. They're either tired of their shit or they quit paying the money. It's one or the other. But basically nobody's getting paid. Nobody's running the interference like they used to. But they're in a hot mess express situation here as well, legally. They're in a very much a quagmire, and we're not going to go through the details of that. So we've got all these things going. We know that the first person to be fired by Team Proudfoot was the unscrupulous PI, which is, he has a habit of losing his job. Okay, he does provide families free work, and they'll use him for free work. And some of them are stupid enough to give him a red cent, but once they give him a red cent, they realize how useless he is, and they end up firing him anyways. So, and we all know that the unscrupulous PI, he covers a case. If somebody else finds the victim, he chalks that up as his find. So we're finally seeing this fool for who he is. And we're definitely going to be advocating for real, dedicated PI professionals like Jason Jensen. Many of you guys are saying, who's Jason Jensen? That name sounds familiar. Well, he's the one that did pros bono work in the Kylan Schulte Crystal Turner case, which came in the path of Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito. Many people actually believed that Brian could have been responsible for those two girls, especially knowing that they witnessed a crime that he had committed. And it wasn't so. But Jason Jensen provided his help pro bono for Sean Paul Schulte, which was Kylan Schulte's dad. He had already lost a son previously when he was like 14 or 15. His best friend accidentally discharged a firearm, struck his son. His son lost his life. So this was the second time he had to endure this type of pain, and there was no real answers in his case. And while it was very difficult to get a hold of Jason Jensen, he probably didn't know who we were, probably thought we were crazy. He did eventually get back to us, and we did have a good conversation, and we talked about Adam, which Adam ended up being responsible for the case. And this was before Adam was well known as being responsible for the case. We learned his name within 24 hours. We do our best work in person. Olivia, I, and the team that we build, we do our best work in person. So we end up finding information very quickly in person. Within 24 hours, we pretty much have a good understanding of what happened. And so we've learned of this guy, but and it seemed very, very, very promising because the guy he's homeless and didn't go pick up his last check. That was like the biggest red flag for me personally. But long story short, he helped Sean Paul Schulte out for free. He didn't charge this man a dime for it. He did a lot of work on it, a lot of man hours. He came from Utah, from Salt Lake City, Utah to Moab, Utah, which is quite an undertaking several times. And I just know he was a huge support for Sean Paul Schulte and Sean Paul Schulte, yeah. And that's how we cross paths. And I'll never forget it. The one thing that still resonates with me today, that Jason Jensen provided me a tidbit of advice for, is when we were talking to him to tell him, all the stuff that we learned about our visit to Moab. And when we were doing the case, like I said, we had a murder board. We knew we had these 5 people. It had to be one of these 5 people. We get out there and we find out that it was none of the 5 people we knew it had to be. And not only did we remove all 5 of the people that we knew it just had to be, we ended up adding like 15 more people to the board. It was an insane case. Absolutely insane. It, like, sometimes we felt like we were drowning. We were just drowning. But we worked through that case pretty well. We were spot on in that case as well. And the person that we took to Lieutenant Kim Neal, that he ended up laughing us out of his office, which made us feel, insecure and incompetent, as you can imagine, being laughed out of a sheriff's office. Obviously, he made us feel like we were on the wrong trail, but it didn't deter us. And, it took almost 2 years to find out that, once again, we have a good strong batting average on this channel, and I don't want people and their lives to deter the people on this channel. When we hook in and sink our teeth into people, we're pretty good at being spot on, and spot on about the details of the case too. Not just that these people are unalived. For example, a lot of people that like to support bad guys and try to minimize their exposure for doing all these bad things, especially to children. Quentin Simon, and let's just throw all the same names out there, QB, BT, all these people that were disgusting people then that are still disgusting people now. In Sebastian Rogers' case, were also the same people going up to bat for this mother that beat her son to death. And these people are trying to act like, oh, she just passed out and he must have drowned. Like she didn't, trying to minimize the monster this woman was. This monster that she was. And, I just feel like this case has had a big dose of that, where people just keep trying to minimize what this boy has gone through. They're paid obstructionists, they're paid illusionists, and they help people try to escape some of the most heinous crimes, and then try to point the finger at us that are trying to expose it and call us things like tragedy pimps. and grifters. It's disgusting. Sebastian deserved better in this case, and we are going to give it to him. Now, getting back to whether I think Danny or his wife Nikki have any part in this, I don't know. But I don't trust that family at all. He's got deep pockets. So where's the connection? I can't find one. It's a problem for me. Okay. But again, going back to the construction aspect of it, I feel like they know people. I feel like they've probably given people discounts on property, on the purchase price of property, on building extra amenities. There's been other things that are going on here. But for this family to have such deep ties and have no financial contributions to prove those deep ties, something else is going on here. And I'd like to know how many politicians in that county live inside second generation homes. And I think it's a legitimate question to ask at this point, because I have looked into this. I've learned about this. What brought me here was a post that was made back in January. It was made back in January from a Gina Riley. And she says, like many invested in Sebastian Rogers' case, I'm interested to know what could be found over in the area near the silos, the baby residence where the glasses were found from Mr. Baby. Why is this property hidden on Google Maps? Oh, look, another quinky dink. Your brother-in-law's construction company signs on the silo. So they're showing construction signs on these silos. Let me pull it up here for you. Here you go. And this is what sparked the conversations, because many of you guys know that this photo specifically, this one right here, with these two dots, have been widely discussed in our, medium and psychic genre of this platform. They have their own genre, like I don't want to be disrespectful, because I know some people are astrology, and I know that there's a lot of differences, even though we lay people don't understand the differences. I know that they understand the differences. So I don't want to be disrespectful to any of them. I just know these things right here that you're seeing on your screen have been conversations of many. This right here is near. And as you can see right behind, let me go over here. Right behind Enoch. This is Enoch. Oh, this is Hutch. This is Enoch Way. So where is that? Oh, this is up this way. So they're all the way down here. And this is right off Enoch. So down this Hutch court. And guys, you have to remember, this is the same area that those glasses that they said were not Sebastian's. And I don't like them coming back so quickly and saying they're not Sebastian's. I don't know. I just don't trust this. I just don't trust anybody when it comes to this case, because nobody's given me a reason to trust them other than Seth. Seth is the only person that I trust in this case, because one, I've never heard the man lie to me. He's always been a straight shooter, and he's a broken father that just wants his son to come home. I don't know what everybody else's motivation is, but I know that I was arrested when I committed no crimes. That's what I know. So I'm very concerned how two people that can have a laundry list of abuse allegations against them, 5 CPS reports, but can't get handcuffs on them. I drive through their community. I'm there for 3 days. And within a month, I've got handcuffs on me for doing nothing. There's something wrong. Why are they hiding, lying, and covering up for the Proudfoots? I feel like there's something more in play here, especially in light of there being no political contributions that I can find. So that means something else undetected was traded instead with someone. So I have to think we need to start looking at how many politicians in that county live in a house that was constructed by second generation construction. And anybody that lives in Sumner County, if you know the answer to that, work in the county themselves, know how to pull the records, can pull up all the permits or all the politicians' houses and look at them as part of public records, not as part of your job so you don't get in trouble. Please get those over to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'd like to know how many judges are living in a second generation constructed home. I'd like to know. And I think we need to get back down to the bottom of it. And if Seth's still watching, you might want to start doing the same thing. Something's not right here. And when they start knowing we're looking, things start getting done because they want us to stop looking. If there's something corrupt here that's being, they don't want it being exposed. So they will arrest Chris and Katie to cover stuff up if so be. But you got to apply the pressure in the right spots. And there's something here. Nobody has this much political capital. I have political capital because I'm an activist and an advocate that shows up. Like they have to deal with me, you know. But people that don't go to meetings, people that aren't showing up to the the events, the luncheons, the stuff like that, and keeping engaged, you paying for your position. Okay, if you're not showing up, you're paying for it. They ain't showing up. We know they ain't showing up. They don't even show up for their own damn son. So that means they have to be paying for it somewhere. Who's paying for it? Everybody would say, "Well, it's Mama. Mama ain't paying crap." I looked her name up too. I looked her husband's name up. I looked them all up. But by definition of a developer or a builder, they're bringing in revenue. Every time they build a home, they're bringing in revenue to that city. Every time they pull a permit, they're paying impact fees to that county. So the more building, the more money the county is getting, the more parks they're going to be able to put in, the more schools they're going to be able to put in, the more sidewalks they're going to be able to put in. And that comes from the builders. And that's before any political stuff. That's just the money that the revenue stream coming from a builder. So they are generating, that county is generating a lot of revenue by the building second generation is coming from. But I cannot believe that all this power is coming just from that relationship. So now it's coming for me to dig a little deeper. I want to know every single politician that lives in a second generation home. And I want to know, and once I know their names, then I'll be able to figure out where they fit in this case and which one might be a problem. Because there's something. And I sniff stuff out. So what do I think? Does second generation have something to do with it? I don't know. We know we all heard the rumors about the footers and stuff like that. Is it worth looking into? You know what? At this point, what could it hurt? What could it hurt? He disappeared in February. Which ones were approved to break ground? Which ones already had their foundations and which ones didn't? Which ones were being getting the foundation within a week of his disappearance? I'd be looking at that. I ain't stiffing nothing. Well, I ain't stiffing nothing unless it's my dog butt. And you're like, why dog butt? Well, yeah, because I lay here with my dog, and sometimes she doesn't realize she's backing it up. I'm like, you gotta understand that in human, culture, it's rude to put your butt in somebody's face. She doesn't quite get it. She's a dog, but I'm gonna teach her. I just think it's rude. You know why? See, it's just rude. It's just rude. It's just rude. If I gotta see it, you gotta see it. Hey. Oh, that's a big yawn. Oh, you little baby. You little baby. Don't go away from. I don't want you getting under the covers. I want to brag about you. Nobody's seen you. They haven't seen you in so long. They think I did something with you. There. Say hi, guys. I'm still here. My mommy still loves me. I love my mommy. She's my best friend. She's my best friend. Oh, yeah, I'm a Daisy dog. Tell him what you do to me. You know what she does to me? She's gotten so used to playing BALL. I have to be careful because she knows the work. She knows the work. And she will lose her stuff. When she wants to PLAY with the BALL, don't say BALL because you can't even go potty after that. She's like I'm talking about you. Yes, I am. You want to say my singing was awful? Well, we didn't. I'm throwing you under the bus now. She sure does. She sure does. So what we're going to do is I'm going to close out the show. I do not believe that. I believe we need to dig deeper in this. Sebastian Rogers hasn't been seen. We know either Danny or his dad was with Chris at some point when he went back to Memphis. I don't trust this family. I want to see the good in everybody, and I don't want to say anything because, we know people that are just trying to get along, just trying to have a life, and they have no choice who their family is. And when their family f's up and becomes national news, and they have nothing to do with it, they shouldn't be punished for that. But they're so close to this family. And Mama Bowersox works with these people in their office. I'm sorry, the fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree, and they cannot not go under scrutiny because this child still hasn't been found. I've been ultra respectful professionally to this construction company. You guys have not heard me bring it up, but at this point, it's time to look at all aspects again. Who knows what? This company has equipment, has deep pockets, and has the ability to hide a child. Okay? So there is least means and opportunity. What would the motive be? In the court of laws, we don't need to figure out what motive is. We're not required to know what motive is. But if you would want to know what my motivation would be for this family, is that they're so tight they don't want to see each other get in trouble. And so the motive for second generation's involvement is to save Chris's ass or Katie's ass. So we do have motive. Means and opportunity are there. Were they called for help? Because you know what? It seems to me that this would be the only way. Delilah, stop. Seems like it would be the only way to get heavy equipment off the books is second generation. To me, it seems like the only way they would be able to get heavy machinery that Chris knows how to operate, whether or not the guys got their hands dirty or not. Something happened to this child, and this child is missing and has not been found since he walked into a house with his mother. And his mother ran away from home, just like Malaya Brooks Murray. And as far as that Daniel being in Dolly Visions, I have never heard that man use the word bro. Whenever somebody clipped and cut that, I keep wondering, that's JLR's speech pattern. Anybody that knows speech patterns, send it over to Mike Damon and have him compare the text messages in Dolly's chat to the speech pattern of Daniel Martel's known speech pattern and see if that sounds like him. Because I'm telling you, I think people were trolled intentionally on that channel. I can't prove it, but if Daniel was going to say that Malaya is running from the law, then why doesn't he just say it? He's had every ample opportunity on every interview imaginable online and with mainstream media, CBC, CTV, Global News. And not one time is he uttering the things that are all of a sudden just pouring out of his mouth, even up to the day of his last interview. And what was being said in Dolly Vision's chat was polar opposite of what we've been hearing from Daniel himself, that we can physically see him moving his mouth. And I'm just wondering why people would do that when there are 2 children missing. And it goes on to Joseph Morris. Joseph Morris, I know him. He knows me. I'm not very appreciative. Well, I don't have any personal dislikes toward the guy, but to me, and maybe he doesn't see himself as that or anything. I'm hoping I'm not being disrespectful, but I see him as a conspiracy theorist. Does he report some good things? Yes. But I also watched his Hot Mess Express of the Idaho 4 and all the people, all the kids that went through hell because of some of his commentary, which was really sad. And there was another case that I was watching some of his commentary on that was totally off base. And so I really don't really, I know he's got a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of people that believe in those conspiracy theories and get on board with that. I'm not sure how I feel about the neighbor coming forward either. I don't know who that guy is. And what is his motivation, not Joseph's, but the person that Joseph was interviewing. What's his motivation of being there? Because there's in situations where we get cases that are making national attention, a lot of people try to interject for a variety of reasons. And I just want to make sure that endeavor of being noticed is not at the expense of getting a lot of misinformation or disinformation. So I'm always cognizant of that. And I'm just getting worried because several people sent me Joseph Morris stuff. And maybe you guys don't know. I like him. I think he's a nice guy. I don't have nothing against him personally. I just, his type of research and my type of research are just different researches. And very rarely do him and I ever come to the same conclusion. We might have the same, part of the same conclusion. We may say XYZ did this crime, but everything else as to why we believe XYZ did this crime are usually polar opposites. So anyways, I missed you guys. I've been missing you guys. We're going to have to keep getting better at, I'm still keeping to the 10 a.m. here. I'm always rolling something out at 10 a.m. I'm making sure that you guys always have something. But remember, we're having some growing pains. We've been on TikTok long before we came here on YouTube. And so if you guys have seen me, I am starting to put authentic stuff just for TikTok. So if you guys are not following me on TikTok, there are going to be some things, some really good information, tidbits of information you're just going to miss. So get over to TikTok, check that out. Please don't forget, we do have the Travis Decker Facebook group. I went in there. I don't really have time to post because I'm doing a lot of research. I'm trying to look at the maps and stuff like that. But there's not been a whole lot of activity from outside people. So if, that's where I was getting a lot of my information that was being uploaded, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying if you guys had, you could maybe X. Well, no, because it still takes you right to my TikTok. So it doesn't really matter. Where was I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, the TikTok. And so there's new content on that. And then over on the other channel is just for Travis Decker. We have the Facebook group. I went over there yesterday, or excuse me, this morning, and I didn't see a whole lot of other stuff. That's where I've been. Usually, when I set up these Facebook groups, I set them up so you guys can put a lot of the information about that topic into that group, because then I can just go to one place and read through your perspectives, your opinions. Garner and get some talking points or some things that if I see a lot of you guys are interested in, we might just take a show and just have a show on that topic, that discussion topic related to that case. So those groups are there to help guide me in what I'm showing you guys, and what I'm what our discussions are. So when I don't see any work in there or anybody talking about a specific topic, then I really don't know that you guys have any specific interest in any specific relevant topic related to that case. So I'll just be talking about some things, and you guys may be in the back of your mind, why isn't she ever talking about this? It's because I go there and nobody's talking about that in the chat room. So, that's obviously, to me, that's telling me that that's not a point that the audience wants to have a discussion about, because they're not talking about it. So I may actually skip good discussions because you guys aren't having the discussions in the chat. So just thought I'd throw that out there, get you guys a little more involved. And you guys are like really the bread and butter of this show. If it wasn't for you guys, there's a lot of stuff we would not have right. I mean, we do have a great batting average from our work out there in the field, as well as the work that's done here on the show. With you guys sending a whole bunch of stuff about information, it is a win-win for everybody, and we can convey it out to a lot more people. If you guys notice, I'm doing some minor changes to this. I am so over StreamYard that I've got to make some decisions here. So I may actually take the morning show and just screen record the entire thing. It won't be in the best editing, the best high quality, but it'll get me through until I can find the original work and start substituting it in place. And then I don't have to worry about it. And then we can just move away from this nightmare. It's been a nightmare on StreamYard, and I'm just so over it. And I keep trying to find the intro videos, and I don't have them organized. They were made on different areas. I've had several different computers since I've been here, and never mind the computer before the Mac. Remember, I just bought that new Dell, and we were on that Southwest trip to go cover Gabby's and Kylan Crystal's case, and the airport crushed my computer and refused to pay for it, and it was a nightmare. And I had just bought it. It took literally every penny I had to buy that computer. And so for literally the first year and a half of our show here, my computer would just shut off in the middle of the show. And we couldn't afford another computer. And God bless the people that remember that. That means you guys have been with me. You guys are troopers. You guys have been with me for a really long time. I remember it was one blessed lady, and I don't even remember who she was. And she gave me the last $500 I needed. And I honestly think she was on her deathbed. But I remember getting this email or this message from her. I remember her being in Colorado, but I forget her name, and God bless her. She literally sent me the last $500 I needed for my computer just to fix our show. And it's just, the heartwarming stuff that we deal with in this career. We do have a lot of pain and pitfalls, but I got to tell you, when you get to see the best, the humanity, the good in humanity, you get to see the best in humanity. We see some people, like even Seth, nobody really looks at it like that, but look at the man's strength. There's so many times that I just sit back and I look at my victims, family, and just, you kind of just take it back and just say, where do they find this strength? I agree with you, Lisa. Travis Decker needs to be found. Yep. But and I've never understood that. Like even Layla's mom, Jen, we've seen her in good days. We've seen her in bad days. She just wants answers. She's still living the struggle. I don't know where she's had loss of jobs, concerned about whether she's going to be able to keep the house she has, just all the ups and downs that come with the instability of losing a child and having to readjust your entire life and figuring it all out. It's never comfortable. And so those things, as you can imagine, it's scary, and you've got no choice but to go through it, whether you're scared or not, and you don't have the answers. You don't know if you're doing it the right way. You don't know if there's a better way, but you just know this is the only way you know. And where they get that strength, where they get the tenacity to continue pushing through the crap, I don't know. Some days it's hard for me, and I'm not living it. I'm watching it. So we'll just keep praying for these cases and these victims. We are going to keep advocating for Sebastian, because there's no way in hell I'm going to allow the people that did this, that caused this mess, to walk away. And I'm damn sure not going to allow them to throw me in jail and think they're going to walk away from throwing me in jail and disappearing a child. Right? The child's bad enough. But then to harass the people that are out there, none of this looks good. None of this looks good for them. And now where are they? Off in the wind again, living their best life ever. Well, every time they think they're having their best life ever, the true crime community is just going to keep showing up and knocking on the proverbial front door. Knock, knock, bitches, right? And that's where we are, because it's not going away. And as a matter of fact, all they did was delay the inevitable. That's all they did. That's all they did. So we're going to keep getting together. We're going to keep pursuing advocacy in this situation. We're going to start working on there. I got some emails from people. I need to go through those today. I'm hoping to find a little bit of time. It's raining today. I should have some time here because I'm not going to be outside. I had a lot of stuff I've been having to take care of outside of the house. And so hopefully it's Friday. Oh, that'll be good. I'll take the weekend and get everything together, and then we'll have a good powwow Monday morning. We'll still be talking about all of our cases. I'm just talking about for the event. I did get some emails. I need to make a list, and I need to get a plan of action to make sure I'm doing all this correctly. So let me just give me the weekend. Monday we'll regroup on the event, and then we'll start getting everything out. If there's anything else that you guys have seen in any of the 3 cases we're covering, this is Lily and Jack, they have their Facebook group. Sebastian has his Facebook group, and Travis Decker has his Facebook group. So if you guys are hearing anything, please go over to those Facebook groups. I'll stay here for another few moments if my mods, actually, I'll go over there and do it real quick. I'm going to get over here and get you guys some of the groups so you guys can go up and sign up. But I need you guys, if you guys could, or you remember. I mean, I'll take the emails. I'll never turn away the emails. That says absolutely, without a doubt, the absolute best way to get a hold of me is those emails. However, I think this is it. Yeah. Here it is. However, I'd like them to go in here because this helps everybody, not just me. Copy. So here's Lily and Jack. Oh, they already got them. Here I am reading. Okay, so we got Travis Decker. Did you guys get Lily and Jack? Here's Lily and Jack. Lily and Jack. And you guys already should know Sebastian's. I think we're all on here. Okay, and that's Lily and Jack. So get over there, sign up for those groups, and if you can, if they're related to, at least, though, if there are other things, just still send them to me the way you've been sending to me through bullhornbetty@gmail.com. But if it's possible if you guys have stuff with Travis Decker, getting it on the Travis Decker group. Lily Sullivan, get that on the Lily Sullivan group. Sebastian Rogers, get that on the Sebastian Rogers group. I just want to remind you, like today's show, we've been discussing this for almost an hour now. Today's show was authored by a post back in January. It is June 20th, and the post is still relevant, where we were able to create an entire hour of commentary out of a post in January that had not been discussed or touched. Now, before we leave, I want to give you guys some background information because I think it is very, very important that you guys do have this information. So I did look into second generation. It obviously was a pass down from his father. And the reason why I say that is because it began operation February 1st, 1995. And I don't think he was born back then. He might have been, but it would have been close. And so the owners of this are Danny Guy, which is the actual Cathy's nephew, not the brother. Danny Guy and his wife Nikki, and she's the co-owner and builder, and are listed as principal owners in this. They do have a registered agent on this company as well, and the industry is luxury home builder, custom luxury home builder, and they work in Sumner and Davidson County. We've only been looking at Sumner County properties, folks. They also have properties in Davidson County that they're building. So, you know, we're not looking out far enough. And I'd have to think that Davidson County might be something we might want to be looking into instead of just Sumner County. Just saying. So they have an A+ rating, which is very good. That means their work speaks for itself, well known. And this is where I found out that there are no political ties related to the election office, no articles in the newspaper. I mean, I thoroughly went through all of this just to look and see what I could find, if anything, including media, including Reddit posts, including a whole lot of stuff, guys. And I just could not find the connection. On the books. But this family has a lot of pull in this county, and I'd like to now know how many people are living in second generation homes. It's just like that. So if you have any information, if you would like to slip me some of the information that I'm requesting on today's show, you can do that anonymously to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. And if you know what I mean by anonymously, if you'd like to set up a separate email, you're more than welcome. But whatever you send me is confidential. I don't disclose the people that send me stuff's name. It takes damn near a court order. If you do not want your name known, it'll take a court order for your name to ever be known. I'll just put it out like that. I believe in the sanctity of sources and confidentiality more than anything else in my business, because it's what allows me to get all the information I have. It's what allows me to have knowledgeable stuff. It allows people to talk to me. If people knew that I was broadcasting their name and who they are and what they said to me, they wouldn't talk. So in order for me to do the work that we do and get the information that we do, if I can't disclose it, I won't disclose it. But sometimes I will just ask people for information for my knowledge. There's been a lot of confidential information I've acquired, and you guys never even know. I don't talk about it, but I have the knowledge of it, and it helps lead the conversation, because now I know what direction I need to be going, and I can start finding information now again. So those are the types of things I rely on. Anyways, if you do have any information, you do know what properties were that were getting poured for footers, either in Davidson County or Sumner County, just to clear that off the list, because it was something that Chris himself brought up. I'd greatly appreciate anything that anybody out there can do. Again, if you would like to send me some information about what I've asked, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. God bless. We'll see you soon. Oh, and I want to thank all of the beautiful people out there dreaming of blue skies and sandy beaches. And new member, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. You've already been part of the family for so long. I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize it. Thank you so much. God bless you. And we are so happy to have you here. Grab your straight jacket in your padded room. I don't have my screaming goat, but I can scream like a goat if you need me to. If it'll make you feel better dreaming, I'll scream like a goat for you. I sang like a crazy woman for Seth. I scream like a goat for you. Billy P, keep up the great work. Thank you. Oh, look at this. Melanie, Robin, Mally Cat, all gifted Bullhorn Betty memberships, and Dreamin' Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches is the newest member of the crazy family we call the Coffee Club. Well, welcome. And don't forget to tell everybody, if you guys received your gifted membership, don't forget to tell the people thank you. And for those recipients, including Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room and welcome aboard. I think I did the sign language for good morning instead of a board. I did. Maybe it's good night. All right, I need some more coffee. I'm gonna let you crazy cats go while I enjoy my very rained-in day, and hopefully, oh, I need to put that on. What was I supposed to do this weekend? Oh, that's right. I need to get everything organized for that operation. Organize. Logistics. Operation Angel Wings. I'm also going to design a logo. You guys, we're going to have like the Operation Angel Wings. Everything's going to have its own logo. It's going to have its own brand. We're going to brand this because Operation Angel Wings is not going to be just a one event. So it might be something that we do annually, depending on how receptive this event is. But again, I'm trying to bring in resources, vendors. I just want a whole bunch of stuff. People that have ideas, laws like Seth. He's trying to pass an oversight law. I'd love for him to explain. He's gonna have to get that down to like a Reader's Digest version, but I'd like to see that, see him or hear him if he's willing to do that. I'm sure he may be open to it. I don't know what his schedule will be, but we need politicians that are strong and tough on crime. We want the tough on crime politicians front and center. I don't care what side of the political aisle they're on. We want tough on crime politicians. We want tough on crime people there, because that's what we need. We need to crack down on this crime that's going on, because it's our children that are being the most affected. And we want to break the cycle, because you know what? When things happen to them as children, they don't know how to deal with it. They grow up messed up and they end up doing other stuff, and it gets them in trouble. And now they have in and out of rotating freaking jail doors. And we want to end the cycle. You know, it's about ending the cycle. It's about giving people the opportunity to know that there's a different way to life. We want to make sure, a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with is because of home violence. We need a lot of resources there for domestic violence. We need to know where the battery, where battered women can go. We need to know where they can go and clothe their children, because we know how dangerous it is. Sometimes they have to walk away with nothing. We need to empower them. So we need a lot. And the vision is there. Now it's putting that vision to paper and making it a reality. So we will be back next week to go over that. But I got that. I'm going to organize the logistics of Operation Angel Wings. And it's going to be branded as Operation Angel Wings. And this is going to be the brand for this moving forward in the state of Tennessee. We may branch out Operation Angel Wings in other states, but Operation Angel Wings is going to be started and authored in the vision of why are we doing this? It's because Sebastian is what? At the end of the day, caused, right? This is a direct result of us covering the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. So he is going to forever be stitched into this project. And I pray to God that this is something that's going to be able to help people moving forward. But again, Operation Angel Wings, this is what we're going to be doing. I'd love to start handing the baton. Once we get this kicked off, I'd love to hand this baton off to somebody in Tennessee, where they can continue this every year. And hopefully this will start getting bigger and bigger every year and grow on its own. That's kind of what I'm hoping will happen. Obviously, I won't be able to be involved every single year to the level we're going to be involved this year or even maybe next year. But at some point, it's Operation Angel Wings, and it is a mission. It is a mission to save children. So, all right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. And just remember, over here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, we do try to get you guys as much factual information to understand these cases and to decide what you believe happened in many of these cases where we don't get resolution or finality or answers until many, many, many years later. And it's a group effort, and I pray to God that we just leave, or at least have an opportunity to leave this place a little bit better than where we were when we got here. I feel like we're just always behind the 8 ball because criminals move quicker than the law, and it's so frustrating. I feel like beating my head against a hard surface many times, but we can only do what we can do, and beg that it does impact or resonate or inspire others to do the same. You look at these protests, these violent protests, mob mentality is real. And so I try to use that mob mentality for good instead of bad, right? I try to promote good and try to show you guys what you can do in hopes that other people pick up batons and do it around their communities, do this stuff, and see something, say something. Exactly. So anyways, guys, we'll see you soon. Thank you for hanging out with me for over 2 hours now. So God bless you. We will be back with more Lily and Jack updates, as well as we'll be on the other channels sometime today. It's already noon. I've got to get some things done here. And then we'll be back probably, I want to say, maybe around 2 or 3 on the other channel to go over Decker updates. And then we'll be back here this evening for a round out with Lily and Jack Sullivan. So please don't miss today's lives as we roll out the day. And you guys have an amazing Friday, and we'll see you soon. God bless. God bless. God bless. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.